Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And on today's show, we are going to be going through the SAA squad announcement. Shukri Conrad, obviously, being the coach of the SAA side for the West Indies inbound tour. And I'm going to go through the squad, the reasons for certain selections, etc. We're going to go through all of that. We're going to reveal the squad to you. And I'm going to read out the press conference, the press release to get some insight from Shukri, as well as listen to the audio, the press conference that was conducted today, talking to the test coach Shukri Conrad. So we're going to go through all of that today. It's a jam-packed show, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it straight away. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. If you're new specifically, I also would like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. If you want to support us and everything that we are doing here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine, then please become a patron today. We are relying on your patronage to be able to take us through and continue doing what we are doing here. So the link is on the screen as well as in the description. Smash that like button, comment and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to going through everything with you guys. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And we have had a massive announcement this morning about, from a South African point of view, from a South African development point of view, from a South African future point of view, with regards to Test cricket and red ball cricket in South Africa. So today, South Africa announced the South Africa A squad for the inbound West Indies tour. So I'm going to go through the press conference with you. The press release with you guys, so that we can get some insight into the selections, etc. Before we get into the reaction or live reaction of the presser that took place as well. So, Cricket South Africa today announced the South Africa A squad for the upcoming 3-match 4-day tour against West Indies A in late November and December. Titans batter and 4-day captain Neil Brunt, who is on the thumbnail, will lead the 15-year squad, which features Proteas batter Keegan Peterson, Test cap batters Tony Rizorzi and Zubair Hamza, as well as fast bowler Tuan Olivier. Proteas red ball coach Shukri Conrad will oversee the tour and has recalled pace pair Dane Patterson and Hardisviljoen along with spinner Dane Pitt for the national setup. There are also first-time inclusions for Western Province batters David Bedingham and Mihlali Mupungwana, Northwest Dragons all-rounder Ruan de Swat, and Rocks wicketkeeper Clyde Fortuin. Commenting on the squad, Conrad said, "We've selected a blend of experienced campaigners and promising talents for the upcoming South Africa A tour against West Indies A. This tour holds immense significance as it will afford players the opportunity to demonstrate their capabilities as we prepare for the international season ahead and build depth within our red ball pipeline." That's a key component right there, guys. The next major point is this next quote here. The squad was selected with the 2-match test series against New Zealand in mind and features players who boast international experience, and some of them gone excellent performances domestically over the last couple of seasons. Neil Brunt will captain the side as he possesses the toughness and resilience that we always after. He has a lot to offer, apart from being an opening batter, and we're excited to show that he's what he's about at this level. Here's your itinerary. So the 21st to the 24th of November, South Africa A versus West Indies A at Benoni. 28th of December till the 1st of December, South Africa, West Indies, Buffalo Park in East London. And then the 5th to the 8th of December, South Africa versus the West Indies in Bloemfontein. So that's just a quick update of that. Let me reveal to you what the squad is as well as we are, as I've designed a little graphic for splitting it up as well. So in the batting department, David Bedingham, Tony DeZorzi, Clyde Fortuin as the wicketkeeper, Zubair Hamza, Keegan Peterson, Reinhard van Tonde, and Kayo Zonda. And then we've got in the all-rounder department Neil Brandt because he offers spin as well. Ruan de Swart, Michlali Mapungwana, and Hardis Viljoen. And then in the spinning department, we've got Dane Piet. And the seamers department, Sipho Mareki, Dwan Olivier, and Dane Patterson. So those are the guys that have been selected for this particular side. Now, there's going to be a lot of questions from a lot of people on why these players were selected and who they think, why they were selected, etc. Now, you need to remember, this is the squad of players. I put it together for you guys of the people that are missing out on the SA20. And I've starred players that would have possibly made this tour to New Zealand if, or could have made this tour if they were available. Now, if these players were allowed to be freed and play the and only the Proteas were kept behind for the SA20, this is probably who the players would have been with regards to where the stars are at, that would have probably made a side, this side. I forgot one by Tristan Stubbs and perhaps Cyril Evie as well. But look at the names over here, guys, that Shukri has missed out on. Matthew Bretsky, Jason Smith, Vian Mulder, Bryce Parsons, Brennan O'Brien, Sibonella Makanya, Ronan Herman, Diane Khalim, Lazard Williams, Nandre Berger, Kyle Simmons, Deva Brevis, Ryan Rickleton, Grant Rolfsen, Delano Potgieter, George Linde, Dwan Jansen, Neelan van Heerden, Björn Hendricks, Karl Verheyen, Tienes de Bruin, Senaran Mutasami, Darren de Pavlon, Michael Pretorius, Ethan Bosch, Corbin Bosch, Tristan Stubbs, Cyril Ewe, Bayer Swanepoel, Ayam Kamani, Otniel Batman, Mitchell van Buren, Bjorn Fortuin, and Cody Yusuf. The amount of names that that could have been possibly in a SIA side, he doesn't have for selection for that New Zealand tour. So he needed to pick the next guys in line that would possibly make it and would be available for selection for that New Zealand tour, and rather get that pipeline in early before before you start making those big calls later on closer to the time, because this is basically around the corner. You're not going to really have a lot of opportunities for people to actually practice and get in the flow of things, etc. To do this. Let me get into some of the comments. Surely Timbas Bavuma is available. He won't be because he will be part of the SA20. So he's not available. He's been selected already in the SA20. Is the SIA squad the same as the Proteas? No, it's not. It's supposed to be the second best squad, but most of these players will most likely be in that tour to New Zealand. It's this tour, this particular team and squad has been picked with that in mind. Think it's quite obvious that Shukri picked the squad with an eye on the New Zealand series. No contracted SA20 players. Happy with the squad too. Feel for Josh Richards, however. Good to see Bellingham in there. Now, there are a couple of names that maybe you would say have been omitted in a way, or you might have thought maybe they've been left out and or have been left out of the side. In my opinion, I don't necessarily agree. I don't think so. I think that Shukri made the best decision based on the plays that he had available. There are a couple of names, though, that could have been possible snubs with Joshua Richards, Sinitem Klashile, Marcus Ackerman, Janeman van Malan, Stian van Zyl, perhaps, or Peter Malan. Those are names that are not contracted, that weren't picked. But if you look at Janeman's record in 4-day cricket over the last 3 seasons, it hasn't been that great. Sinitembe Klashile has been quite inconsistent. Joshua Richards, as an opener, we know that that Neil Brandt had a better record over the last 3 seasons now than him. I looked at I looked at Neil Brandt's figures, and he also offers a spinning option. That's an important factor, that we have an extra all-rounder in the team as well. Because with Neil Brandt opening the batting and also offering a spin option, you could perhaps play an extra batter, like a lot of us want to see. There's an option of maybe playing 6 full-out batters, and then you still have Mapungwana as well. To add there, you could even pick 7 batters and play Mapungwana at 8. There's an option of that as well. When I look at Neil Brandt's record over the last 3 seasons, in 2021 he averaged 31 with 200s, and then in 2021-22 he averaged 42 with 103 50s, and then in 2023, which is last season, he averaged 61 with 550s. So he's continuously improved his performances over time. He's constantly improved. So it's very clear that this is the reason why he selected the squad that he picked. Uh, I Wakas. Pitt got in through easily by one good game in the second division. Feel bad for Whitehead. I don't think it's because of his Division Two performance that he got selected, though. He got in because of his previous experience with the Proteas. He's going to go to New Zealand. He's had international experience. He's toured with the Proteas. He brings some experience into the squad that will be lacking that for New Zealand. We need some guys that have international experience in the side if we want to win. Ultimately, the aim is to beat New Zealand, not to just go there and take a team that just for experience alone. And in fact, the next guys in the pipeline, as you can see on this list that I've shown you guys, they're not available. For example, guys that we'd like to see, Ryan Rickleton, for example, Grant Rulofson, maybe, um, perhaps even Jordan Herman, another player that won't be able to be that won't be available for this because he's been picked already in the. I missed him out here at SRH actually. So Jordan Herman's another player that I left off this list. He's another Matthew Brzezinski is another player that is missing. Oh, he's on this list though. So there are a lot of youngsters that could have been in the SAA side that haven't been picked because they're not available. So I am actually not that upset with any of the selections that have been made over here, to be honest with you. There is a little bit of a question mark over Kaya Zondo because he hasn't really had the best of seasons over the last couple of seasons. I mean, I can read out I've got his stats in front of me. 2021, he averaged 38.33 with 200s. And then 21-22 season, he scored 368 runs at an average of 73.60 with 100, which was a 200 not out, and a 50 and 150. And then 2022-23, he averaged 33 with 297 runs and 350. So his performances hasn't been has been a bit questionable over the last couple of seasons. He hasn't necessarily put on the runs as you'd expect from a person that's making it a side or a test side. I'm surprised not to see Jason Smith and Peter Malan in the squad. While Jason Smith, like I said, he's been picked up in the SA20, so that's the reason for that. Biggest Mallet says, love the show. Would love your thoughts on Kaisondo. Bro, almost 34 years old, average just over 30. Almost. And I just said it now, Biggest Mallet. That is the one that I have a little bit of a question over. And there is a question mark over that from my perspective. But when I looked at because we're going to have to look at it from a Black African batsman perspective. And when you look at all the Black African batters that have batted over the last 3 seasons, Kai Zondo stands ahead of them with regards to that. And when it comes to Senetemba Mashile, I have slight questions over his keeping. I do think Clyde Fontaine's a better keeper. So you have to pick the best keeper as well. And also Clyde Fontaine averaged 55 last season. So the guy also has experience. What is the next test series we are playing after New Zealand? I think it's Bangladesh, but I'm not 100% sure, bro. I'm not going to look that far ahead. We'd like to see Van Buren. He's going to warm the bench for the Paul Rocks. Yeah, but unfortunately, these players have been contracted, and the instruction has been, regardless of whether they're going to warm the bench or not, they can't be released. They have to be available for the SA20, and that is a big blow. And we knew that was going to be a big blow for Coach Shukri. I'm mad at the exclusion of Kashile and Richard, says Ayanda. Really happy for David Bedingham. Really wanted to see him in the protest colors, and happy for Fantonda Mapongwana, Rwanda Swat, says Suraj. Diogo Rozier, a notable omission, is another person as well. In place of Zondo, Dane Pitt should be Joshua Richard, Sean Whitehead, spinner John Duplessis. Second, I can see, but they Division 2 players that maybe need to first perform in Division 1, whereas Dane Pitt has a track record of franchise cricket, playing for South Africa already and overseas. Clive Fontaine is a better than Bashile. I agree, no problem with the squad at all. Very experienced too, says Lawrence. Um, John, unfortunately, is competing with Van der Tonda, Hamza, Peterson. KP is one lucky chap. Um, let's see some more. Saraj saying, I thought Dane Pitt left South Africa and relocated in USA. Then how he gets selected in place of talented Sean Whitehead, man. Happy for Huddersfield Union and Dwan Olivier because like I've said it so many times, it's about experience. Um, Daniel Smith should get selected as a wicketkeeper in the SAA squad. Zonda is selected for covering for quotas. Do you think Bellingham can keep? I think he can, but I don't think they will because I mean he needs to focus on batting first and foremost. And when the Proteas are back for the India series, etc., um, because I think that David Bellingham is not only pushing for the New Zealand tour. I could see him push for the tour to India. When India come down here, honestly, to be honest. I'd have Lesejo Senokwane over Kaya, to be honest. Yeah, I would as well, but Lesejo is an opener, I think. So I think that's maybe the reason. And Tony's the opener, and Neil Brandt's the opener for this particular side. Where has Lutus Pamela disappeared to? That's a good question, actually. I'm not 100% sure how he is doing. We should maybe catch up with him and find out. Calveren will also warm the bench for Pretoria Capitals. I think that's why maybe Coach Shukri was a bit upset about the fact that he got picked up. Am I the only person who despises T20 cricket? Bro, you're not. T20 cricket is, I feel, there's a space for it, but the way it's been prioritized, I'm not liking. It's ripped the soul and fabric out of cricket. There is no smart strategy. If it didn't exist, it may extend it to the cock for SA, etc. Neil Brandt is the next big thing, says text. KP has been poor since that Indian series. Neil Brandt, the next Gary Kirsten, says text. Carly de Bruin is retired from international cricket. Carly de Bruin is retired from international cricket. Yebo. Daniel Smith ain't even a regular in VP teams, yet people want to see him in SIA squad. Yeah, he's retired, but he could have been recalled. I mean, I'm sure if Shukri spoke to him or whatever and was interested in him, he would come back. I don't think he's I think it's he retired because obviously he wasn't really getting an opportunity. Ain't even a regular in the Western Province team yet. People want to see him in the SAS squad allowed. It's true. Holly brother, who are the Black African left arm bowlers along with talented Kwena Mapaka? Um, I don't know of a lot of younger ones. I know that there are quite a couple of right arm seamers available. Tried and tested Zondo again, made it to the squad. I think Luto is injured. Don't think he featured in the lines against VP Khalid. No, he did not. So yeah, that he might be injured. I didn't actually ask about that because they put together such a good bowling attack over there. Okay, so let's go into Shukri Conrad's presser because I think that we can get a little bit more insight into it and answer all of your questions. But I wanted to get answer some of your guys' questions in the live chat before we go into it. Let's get into the press conference, and you can hear the answers and the questions for this particular presser, so that you guys can get an extra insight into what his thinking was when it comes to the team. I think I was in the presser, so I think the answers were very good, and the questions were also very good. Um, the right questions were answered. And also, by the way, breaking news on the channel, but I think it's already been out there already. But Ashwell Prince will be the batting coach for the Proteas in Test cricket. He will be going on this tour, and as well as the Test squad. We weren't given it in the release, but you'll hear that in the presser as well when I play it for you. So let's get into it. Um, let's have a listen and see what Coach Shukri had to say about the squad and his thought processes when it came to selection.
How's it, Shucks? Obviously, you said in the press release that that squad has got a very New Zealand look to it going ahead. Just on the wicketkeeper, Clifford Kane averaged 55 last season. Is that the reason you've gone ahead of him? Somebody like Kishile, who played on the SA tour to Sri Lanka earlier this year.
Yes. So look, I mean, this squad is obviously like the release mentioned with the New Zealand tour in mind. I think it gives us an ideal opportunity to just widen the net a little bit. And yes, Clyde has been playing really good cricket for the last 2 seasons, couple of seasons, in fact. He's basically almost served his apprenticeship, if you want. And outside of the guys who would normally be in contention for Proteas spots, Clyde's the next one up. So yes, with New Zealand in mind, bit of experience, and in a leadership role at the Rocks now, he's vice captain. All of those things coupled with the fact that he's been playing really well with both bats, and we know how good he is with the gloves.
Thanks, Sahia. Nathan, then Johan.
Thank you, Lucy. Good day, Coach Shuk.
So there was your answer, guys, that you wanted to know. He explained it better with the gloves, more experience, in good form at the moment for the Rocks. That's the reason why they've gone with Clyde Fontaine over Kashile. So that's just to answer your question. You might like it, you might not like it, but that was the answer given by Coach Shukri.
Coach, quite a mixed bag in the group with players who have played test and new players on the block. Can you just talk us through the selection process?
Yeah, hi Nathan. As I mentioned, this series presents us with a really good opportunity to get together a group who potentially will be going to New Zealand. Now, I think I need to say this at the outset, that this is not the squad that is going to New Zealand, but the vast majority of this squad will be on a flight to New Zealand. And what better opportunity, 3-4 day matches. It gives us an opportunity to start working with guys, to share our expectations, our philosophies, how we want to play our cricket, and for all the coaches involved to start getting their hands dirty with these players. You know, I think it would be too good an opportunity to let slip by if I didn't have the New Zealand tour in mind. So experience, yes. I think on the batting front, I wouldn't say we're reasonably okay, but we've got guys who've played for South Africa before, and still have ambitions of playing for South Africa again. So going to New Zealand, I want to take as much experience with me as well, because many might think that this is just a second, third-rate side that's going. This is still a Protea side that's going. We still represent South Africa. And I have to find and select a side who I feel is best to come back with something. And as I mentioned, this is the vast majority of these guys will be on a plane, and experience does count for something. You'll see the bowling attack is guys that have played for South Africa before, bring a lot of experience, and I feel that we'd be able to give a really good account of ourselves if these were the guys that were to board the flight to New Zealand.
So there again, experience important, previous international experience. I think Coach Conrad has tried to do the best that he could to give New Zealand an actual match and come back with something. You don't want to just go there and roll over. You want to put up a fight there in New Zealand. And you need to instill that type of mentality within the team, regardless of the adversities that you may face. You still want to make sure that the team environment, when they come into a team environment with Coach Shukri Conrad, that the mentality remains the same.
Thanks, Nathan. Johan, then Morgan.
Morning, Shuks. I saw some names there, guys, in form, like John Olivier and Pity. You must be happy with this early form of these guys.
Yes, very. Not only the form, Johan, but also the progress that's been made, especially someone like Duan. We had a fast bowlers camp a couple of months ago in Pretoria. And then also our bowling coach, Pete Botha, has been doing the rounds in the country, at the Lions, in the Free State, everywhere pretty much. Just ensuring that the guys are on the right track. And yes, it's really heartwarming to see the progress that Duan especially has made. I was present when he took his 5 at Newlands the other day. And I think that just, I wouldn't say that was the deciding factor, but We all know that a confident Duan who can be reintegrated into, or has been reintegrated into South African cricket, can be a benefit for us going forward still. So really chuffed with the early season form. Hardness has bowled really well, as you mentioned. Pity brings a lot of experience on the spin front. So yes, all in all, really happy with Dane Patterson. Had a really good county season. So yeah, lots of experience and guys in form.
Also need to think about
Thanks.
the 150
We go
clicks.
Morgan, then Stu.
Hardest bowls close to 150.
Morning, Shooks. Shooks, just on two players there, you touched on Dane Pitt now. But apart from the experience, he also probably brings a bit of leadership to your group. And then Reinhard van Tonder, another good opportunity for him. He's been knocking on that national door for a couple of years. Things haven't gone quite according to plan for him. So he probably has to see this as a massive opportunity.
Yes, definitely. Hello, Morgan. Pity first. Yes. Leadership, something that we're obviously going to need. We're going to need some strong characters, which is going to be a tough tour. New Zealand in itself, not that I've been, I don't speak of experience, but I think in the past, history will tell us it is a tough place to tour, and we need some strong characters around. Pity ticks all of those boxes, and apart from the fact that he is in form, he brings a hell of a lot to the side. And yeah, Reinhard was one of the shining lights, has been one of the shining lights for a while now. He was in the SAA side a couple of years ago during those COVID times, and as things played itself out, then he couldn't go on the tour because of COVID, etc., etc. And great to see him in form again. You know, he went through a bit of a quiet time, but we always knew that someone of Reinhard's quality will eventually come through. So yeah, I think a big opportunity for a lot of these guys, both guys that haven't played before and guys that have had a taste of international cricket in the past.
And if you guys have been following Cricket Fanatics for a long time, you would know that I'm a big fan of Reinhard van Tonder. I've always been a big fan of his mentality, the way he thinks about the game, all of those type of things. So he's a very strong-minded cricketer, very humble, very powerful as well, a very talented cricketer. So I've always been a great fan, so I'm happy for him as well, being in the side. I mean, we have plenty of interviews on this channel, talking to Reinhard. If you want to get to know him better, can check on in the exclusive interview section on this channel.
Thanks, Morgan. Stu, then Khalid.
Yes, Lucy. Morning, Shukri. Just on a couple of things. The SA20 squads have obviously been finalized. Does this mean that these guys, if there's an injury that occurs with one of the SA20 squad, these guys won't be touched at all? I mean, they've been ring fenced by CSA. Do you have clarity on that? And I just have a follow-up.
Not yet, but that is going to be the conversation that I'm going to be having with Stephen and Graham in due course. Look, I mean, this is not the side going to New Zealand. You know,
Yeah.
I think once the series is done, I think that conversation will be had. It is my hope that these guys will all be available to go to New Zealand. But as such, as it stands right now, Stu, they haven't been ring fenced just yet. But given the convos we've had before, Stephen and I, there's going to be a date where we actually do ring fence these players.
Just to confirm quickly, that's Stephen Cook, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then just how many players do you envisage that's not in this SAA squad that is going to New Zealand?
Difficult to say. There are a couple of guys. This series gives us an opportunity to still sift through one or two areas, and then there obviously are players on the outside that are not in the squad that we pretty much have a really good idea of what they're about. And I didn't want to waste that opportunity on someone who could potentially still put his hand up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, Stu? You tell me.
Thanks, Stu. Khalid, then Zahir.
Ashus, there was nothing mentioned in the press release about a coaching staff. Can you maybe give us some insight into who you're going to be taking on as well with regards to the coaching coaches, etc.?
I think that must be aimed at Lucy, she does the the releases. But the Proteas test staff will be looking after this tour. Myself as the head coach, Pete as the bowling coach, Ashwell Prince as the batting coach, Creer van Wyk, and then Rian Osman, the manager, and Tumi Masakela as the S&C, and as the physio. I'm missing one, Abraham and Global analyst.
Thanks. And we're going to go another one from Zahir and then Nathan, and then we'll look to take one or two last additional questions if there are any.
Shuks, thanks for that. You just named your batting coach there. Just what does Ash bring to the setup? He's obviously been head coach at the Cobras, been batting coach around the world, Bangladesh. What does he bring, and what are you hoping that he adds to your, particularly looking ahead to India as well?
I think he brings all of what you just mentioned, experience, both on the playing front and on the coaching front. I think we all know what Ash is about as a cricketer and as a person. And again, that ticks every box for us. You know, resilience, determination, the desire to want to go out and front up is everything that South African cricket and South African sport is about. So Ash will brings all of that, and I think the experience on the coaching front, you'd have learned quite a bit of things along the way, having spent time both as a head coach and then also as a batting coach for Bangladesh. And they've been to New Zealand and done well there. But yeah, look, I'm fast forwarding to New Zealand. Yeah, I'm as well as a batting coach for South Africa, brings a hell of a lot. And I think a lot of the players would have worked with Ash at some stage. He's worked in a high performance setup before. You know, he's spent time with us at academy level. Whenever we've had camps, he's been involved in the SAA side before. So really chuffed that we could nail someone as Ashwell down to be our batting coach for the test side.
Brilliant appointment, in my opinion. I've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. I thought always that Ashwell had the perfect mentality, the perfect skill set, the perfect everything for a batting coach for the Proteas. I mean, we were even thinking, some people were even maybe putting his name in the hat for potentially the national coach role when we didn't know what was going to happen with our coaches. But as a batting coach with Shukri Conrad as well there, and Pete Botha as the bowling coach, I think we have an amazing trio there from that perspective that covers all our grounds. I mean, Pete Botha has worked with the likes of Andrik Nokia. I mean, he's going to I think he's really going to improve our bowlers' ability to and up their pace and helping them bowl faster. Andrik has spoken glowingly about Pete Botha and how he's improved his pace and helped him with upping his speed, because he wasn't always a 150 bowler from the start. Ashwell Prince has developed, and so many young cricketers in South Africa right now. There are certain players that moved over to the Cobras while he was there just to work with him. So I think he will bring an amazing mentality, an amazing skill set and mindset and way of thinking. So I like the way he thinks about the game. I like the way he thinks about batting specifically and the approach, and also the resilient mindset of working hard to achieve what you need to get to. I mean, he's lived it. He's proven it as a player and as a coach as well. And coming through the ranks and really pushing his levels. That's something that I think is incredible. So I'm very happy with that appointment.
And just to follow up on Ash Shuks, we know the test. I mean, not just this group, but the actual test unit of the top six it's vastly different to the one-day unit, the way they go. Just in terms of, you've always said that's a work in progress. Is Ash aware of the challenge that awaits him in terms of the test batters?
Yeah, look, I mean, Ash and I have been spending a lot of time together in the last while, and we've been sharing, myself and all the coaches, in fact. While it might seem that I spend most of my time on the golf course, there is time for for some cricket conversations and some work as well, you know. So I also did say a few months ago, when last we played Test cricket, that come the Indian series, that I want quite a settled Test batting unit. I think that is still very much on track. And I know a lot has been spoken now about New Zealand, but the big test for us is India at the end of the year, which obviously precedes New Zealand, and that's everything gearing towards that. So yes, I think we're all aware of what would lie ahead in terms of settling that batting unit and how we want to play our cricket. I think I've also always went to great pains to say that the character will reveal the type of cricket we play. And when I say the character, I'm talking about the character of the individual. And again, just Ash is a really good fit when it comes to that, you know. So I think come the Indian series, look, the New Zealand series, but it's got to be taken in isolation because its circumstances are slightly different. Come the Indian series, we'll see a really settled batting unit that's going to take South African cricket forward.
Thank you.
Thanks. So here, Nathan, Stu, and then we'll look to wrap with Khalid.
Thank you very much, Lucy, again. Coach, we know how many players play county up north. Can you just give us your brief comments on those players' performances up north, guys like David Bedingham, Dane, assuming, of course, you kept a close eye on their performances?
Yeah, obviously.
Yes, look, I mean, county cricket has always been a really good, shall we say, apprenticeship serving platform. And again, Bedders has been an absolute superstar over the last couple of years. So, and it's not only me watching, and the same can be said for someone like Bian Mulder. So, I've been in conversation with Marcus North, who's the director of cricket up at Durham, with Claude Henderson, who's the director of cricket at Leicester, with Otis Gibson, with Kabir Ali. So, I not only follow Crick info and try and find the scores. We actually have, and a lot of our guys, coaches, have contact with coaches abroad as well. So yes, we've been following and we've also been engaging. And county cricket has done wonders for a lot of people's careers over the years, and I think it's done a similar thing for someone like David. I'm thrilled that David has made himself available to play for South Africa, because he is a quality player. He's done it both on county level and domestically in South Africa. And so we have guys like Bian Mulder and whoever else. Dane Patterson is still a stalwart at Notch, and he had a really good season as well. So county cricket, if we can get a few more guys in the county scene, then I'll be a happy coach.
Dane Patterson has been bowling really well, county cricket wise and locally in Division 1 cricket for Western Province. So I think he'll be excellent in New Zealand. I think that the conditions will suit him very, very well.
Thanks. Going to go Stu, Khalid, and then I've just got one more from Amir that's been popped in the chat box, so I'll read that one at the end. Go ahead, Stu.
Thanks. Shukri, Mislali Mpongwana, somebody that you know is delivered for Western Province quite a lot in a short career. I was wondering, besides the actual numbers that he's produced for them, what stands out about his character and personality that you particularly like, and why you've added him to the SAA side?
Apart from the performances, I think it's when he delivers these performances. You know, he delivers it in big games. He delivers it when the team is seemingly under pressure. We saw it as recently as the one-day final. We saw it in a few times last season, and this is with the bat. I think there's still a little bit of work to be done with the ball. But he, I mean, he's a smart cricketer. He's obviously talented, and he's quite a chilled guy. You know, that again, I don't think he takes himself too seriously. He obviously takes cricket very seriously, and he studies. He's still a student. So I think he's got his life sorted. He understands fully how he wants to go about things. I had a brief conversation with him yesterday.
I saw him at
Newlands. He's nursing a little fracture on his one finger, but he'll be fine come the series. So a really exciting talent for South African cricket going forward. I think he can, again, we're looking to grow that all-rounders pool, and I think with a bit of experience, and especially on the bowling front, I think he can one of the days fit that bill as a fully fledged all rounder.
Great, thanks to you, Khalid.
Shukri, you spoke a lot about character, and I would like to know from your aspect how much of that is like character from a cricketing perspective, the way players play the game, how much of it is mentality. So for players, what would they need to do from their side to be able to be noticed by you and your scouting team, etc.?
Yeah, I think character and the mentality almost go hand in hand. I think there's obviously a cliche that's been bandied about quite a bit, i.e., being the best version of yourself. But that's really what I'm about in getting guys to play for South Africa. You have to be the best version of yourself. And if the best version of yourself is someone who's going to stoically block and then accumulate runs in a tough, gritty way, then there's still a place for you as long as you stay in that bubble and you're able to perform doing what you do best. Similarly, if you are quite an aggressive type player, I want guys to come along and be that best version of themselves and be able to deliver still. So being you, being your authentic self, both on and off the field, and with that character, if you're able to deliver under pressure, I think that speaks to the mentality, and that in a nutshell is what I'm after. I'm wanting players, however they want to play their cricket, to be given the license to play that, and ultimately for them to be able to deliver under pressure as well. I hope that answers the question.
I think that silence suggests it does. And then just the last one, Coach, obviously you mentioned that this was not the final squad and that there would be still a few additions looking ahead to the New Zealand tour. How many of these SAA tours would there be to have a look at some players before the New Zealand trip, and how important are the next 2 months of 4-day cricket?
Just before we get into that, I think I needed to ask that question. The question wasn't necessarily asked for me personally. It was for more of our education as a fan base, because I wanted to understand what Coach Shukri looks for in players, so that when we obviously have our discussions about the next players that should be selected for a team, etc., we have a little bit more of a background from Coach Shukri and what he sees in players when he selects them. And I wanted to hear what sort of things him and his scouting team look for when they select a player, and what players need to do from a player's perspective to get into his sides. What do they have to do locally? What do they have to do? Because there might be a miscommunication over there from that. I'm sure Coach Shukri will communicate with the ones that he's interested in. But for those that are maybe trying their best to make national call-ups, they now have heard what Coach Shukri is looking for when it comes to a player and the way they approach the game. So I thought it was a brilliant answer, and obviously my silence, I didn't want to put on my mic and talk again, because he answered the question and I thought the next question was going to be answered. So yeah, I should have actually maybe put on my mic. My mic sounded a bit muffled as well. I don't know why, but it is what it is. There's a couple of questions over here before we get into the next question that was asked. Do you think Jordan Dewald, Stubbs, Ferreira will be back for a new team rebuild against start of India? Will SA start? Ferreira, Stubbs, or Dewald Brevis will be the best replacement. I want them to rebuild after the World Cup. I want them to, but I wanted to see them do it gradually. I don't want them to just snap their fingers, wipe out everybody, and then replace them. I think we need to blend it in slowly over the next 4 years. Bring in some of the top targets that we want to replace some of the guys that might be leaving over the next year or two. So, for example, get a new number 3, for example, in place of Rassi, who's aging now. Find a new opener, perhaps to replace. Oh, we need to find a new opener to replace Quentin Cock, and him and Bavuma can Bavuma can obviously lead them in that manner, and as well as Riza Hendricks. And then you have your number 4 set sorted, I think, for the next 4 years still with Aiden. You have your Klaassen, but I think a number 6 in place of David Miller, you can maybe replace him over the next couple of years, to bring him in, find another all-rounder to come in at maybe 7 or 8 with Marco Jansen, who's doing phenomenally well, and blend those players into the side slowly, so that they can learn from the experienced players. And then once they are getting more familiar and finding themselves in international cricket, you can bring a couple of new guys in and then build a whole side from 11, from 1 to 11, that can be the team for the next couple of years, for the next World Cup in South Africa.
In terms of finalizing that New Zealand squad?
Yeah, I think the next couple of months are very important. There's rumored that there might be an India A might be coming along. I don't know if that's been nailed just yet. And then obviously the first class scene here, we keep scouring and we keep looking. So it does play a critical role. The next couple of months are important for New Zealand, yes, but the big one is India. But the bigger one is the World Cup right now, so we're not gonna get too involved in the India series just yet. But I think we need to just make sure that whilst there's been a lot of talk around New Zealand, that's only in February. There's a big test match that starts on Boxing Day at SuperSport Park, and we've got to make sure we're ready for that challenge, and it's going to be a massive challenge. And yes, the next couple of months, first class cricket, SAA tours, they're all going to be critical for whoever's going to board a plane to New Zealand or take a short flight up to SuperSport Park.
Okay, guys, that is the presser. Sriracha and Bavuma, Rassie, Miller are all 34. Yes, that's why I mentioned them. And I think that they should be still in the squad. And then you blend in the youngsters amongst them. So, for example, what I mean by that is, like, for example, if you have a young opener, then what you do is, for example, you can play Riza or Bavuma as the opening partner with that young opener. Then you can also have a youngster at 3. Or if you want to play 2 young openers, then you can have someone like Rassie at 3, just to pivot that, to this anchor that. Then, for example, if you want to play David Miller one game and then maybe play one of the youngsters, play Miller at 5 and then maybe have him at 6, or play Klaassen at 5 and then maybe have a youngster at 6 in some games. So you rotate them among each other so that they can start learning from the players in that position. That's what I mean by that. Lorenzo says the blueprint that Shukri wants to play according to should also be conveyed to the unions, as the players at our unions can mold their game to the standard, so that the transition won't be that steep. It has been, from the conversations I've had with the coaches from the different unions. They've said that Coach Shukri has spoken to them, and has come around and expressed to them what he would like from the national side, where he'd like to see certain players bat, etc. So those conversations have been had, according to some of the coaches that I have spoken to. So that has been happening. That conversations has been happening. Yes, it takes some time. They have to build, win or lose for the next 4 years with experienced players like Markram, Rabada, Nokia. I only select these 3 means I have a lot of sense. Well, you must say so yourself. Miller will play to the 2027 World Cup, mark my words, Iskani. Donovan Frederik can learn a lot from David Miller, 100%. Tristan Stubbs can learn a lot from Heinrich Klaassen, 100%. Thank you, MY. Deva Brevis can learn a lot from Aiden Markram, 100%. So that's why I would like to see like a blend like that, because then you can mix it up and the players can learn from each other. I don't want to see what happens when we stick with this older 11, then we realize, oh, flip, these guys are aging and they're maybe not seeing the ball that well anymore. Now we need to drop them and bring a new guy in. Now he's like a deer in headlights, doesn't know what international cricket's about, and then he fails. Then we always going to be recycling those same players over and over again. I like the way Coach Shukri Conrad has handled the test team, for example, bringing in the young players amongst the older players so that they can learn from the dressing room. That's so important. We need to do the same thing with the one day side. Okay, guys, that is the show. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There is an Eric Simons press conference on the channel. I'll be doing my preview for the Afghanistan game a little bit earlier tomorrow, around 4:30. So please keep an eye out for that. I'll be doing that live tomorrow so that we can do that. So stay tuned for that because I have plans the evening, so I won't be able to do it at the normal time at 7. So I'm doing it a little bit earlier tomorrow. So even if you guys have to go back and rewatch it, that will be great. If you don't have time to watch it, please put your comments in the live chat. Leave it there on YouTube, and I'll read them out on the show and answer your questions if you have any. But we'll be doing our preview a little bit earlier tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Our subscriber base is climbing, and we want to hit that 5K mark, please. So help me get there, guys, please. We have a latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthlies out. It's all about BMT as we reach the knockout stages. So please go and have a look at that. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is right now on the screen as well as in the description. So go get your copies straight away, and all the back issues as well. If you want to show your support for what we're doing here, then please become a patron today. Link on the screen as well as in the description. We rely on your patronage to be able to continue doing what we are doing here today. Then I would like you to also smash the like button, comment, and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates, please. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another daily show. Stay safe, or for the preview show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good luck to Man United. Peace out.